Oh, I'm live. Oh, hi everyone. Okay, sorry, I'm just figuring this out. I am on the Riverside app connecting to YouTube, and I just randomly decided to go live right now today. I don't know why. I just thought it would be kind of fun. I didn't tell anyone about it, but I will. I'll probably record this, so in case any of you guys missed it, then you can watch it later. So yeah, hi. Forgive me if I'm a little awkward with this, and I think I can see your messages through here. This is all new to me. I'm such an old millennial. But I thought that I would go live today and answer some questions, just some common questions that you guys send me a lot, respond to some of your comments. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Oh, it looks like I can see your chat. Okay. Hi, Whitney. Hi, Alicia. Good afternoon, Whitney. Hello, Quinn. Yeah, so I guess without further ado, let's just get into it. Let's see. So I found some questions, and this is some questions both from on YouTube and what's the other one I have? Spotify. So let's see. All right. So this first one is, hey Whitney, I wondered if you could give some tips on how to start as a 13-year-old, but quickly, maybe you could like text me or something because I am really struggling too because I lose a couple pounds, but I just put it back on. Okay, so first of all, hi. I'm so glad that you are starting your weight loss journey younger at 13 because I was around 14 when I started. And all I can really say for this is number one, I do have the book. Okay, the book is good information, especially if you are very new to weight loss. It's a good like beginner's guide. But as far as like, okay, you lose a couple pounds and then you put it back on, I think it sounds like you were having a problem with consistency. I would say like you need to have some kind of plan. It doesn't have to be something super elaborate. But for example, when I first did it, I made a rule like, okay, 3 days a week, I'm going to work out. I'm going to do at least 30 minutes on the treadmill, at least 30 minutes doing something. All right. And then when it came to food, it was just, I gradually tried to eat better. And I know that's very vague, like, oh, just eat better, right? Because like, we know like that doesn't always work. Like it has to be a little more um uh, it's more than just eating better and eating healthy. But when you are first starting, I think making the obvious choices. Okay, apples are better than french fries, right? Oatmeal instead of a sugary cereal. I really think that's just the best time to start. I think when you do anything too crazy and then you just end up like hinging, then yeah, you put the weight back on. Hi everyone. Do you have any suggestions for summer weight loss foods? Number one, cucumber. I've been really into that lately. Cucumber is really good. I've been doing that with tzatziki sauce. I think that's how you pronounce it. And it's kind of like tzatziki sauce is one of like the best weight loss foods, by the way, because it's kind of like a substitute for ranch dressing. At least that's how I feel. And I get it from Costco, like the big tubs of it. And I put it on salads, you can put it on sandwiches. I take like the cucumbers and I'll dip it in that sometimes. I think that's a really great weight loss food. It helps keep you full. I've been eating just a lot of salads recently, just taking, my chicken and whatever kind of vegetables in the fridge and just putting it on the salads. And cabbage. Cabbage is another one I've been doing recently. So I love cabbage, but I mostly only have it in like when it's in like a dumpling or some kind of like, other dish. But yeah, my fiance and we've been getting cabbage and just sauteing it with maybe a little bit of oil, just kind of steaming it. Put your spices on it. We put like onion powder, salt, pepper. It's so freaking good. And it also is really filling. And it's like 35 calories, I think, per cup, something like that. So yeah, any kind of lean green leafy vegetable is really good for that. So yeah, oh, hello, Melody. And hi, Ellie. Good to see you guys. I think, again, back to the question about the 13-year-old trying to lose weight. It is just little things over time that adds up. You should be trying to work out consistently. You need to start making, slightly healthier choices. You have to do it slowly over time, and maybe don't pay so much attention to the scale right now because that can fluctuate a lot and maybe will disappoint you. But yeah, that is what I would suggest. Just try to be more consistent with something, especially I think exercise is really great for that. That's what really I think was the key for me in both losing it and keeping it off, as I really liked the exercise. Okay. So I don't keep a lot of processed foods in the house, but I still find myself snacking and overeating on things like nuts, fruits, and veggies to the point where I feel overly full. And I'm starting to find that it is taking a hold of my weight. Any suggestions? Yeah, I mean, so this is interesting. I've had this question before as well. And I get it because like I've definitely told you guys before, like, okay, if you are going to hinge or something, at least eat healthier stuff, because a lot of times when we hinge, it is driven by like the processed foods, right? It makes us want more and more of it. But there is definitely like, there's so many reasons why we hinge, right? Sometimes it is just a pure emotional thing. It's pure habit. And so I know some of you are like, well, look, I can hinge on literally anything, even if it's healthy. Like someone told me once I can eat like, like mounds of Greek yogurt. And so obviously what I would first say is, let's really get to the root of why we're doing the hinge. Sometimes it is just a habit. It could be some other kind of thing going on. Obviously, that's the first one. I mean, I think that, I wonder if like also setting up, like if it's an ongoing problem and you are starting to see some weight gain from it, I have found things like just changing it up no matter what. Like maybe intermittent fasting has been helpful for me sometimes, because I feel like it just kind of, it sets like a time window where you can eat and where you don't eat. And so once you kind of get into that routine, it's like, okay, you can eat what you want during this window of period of time, but then after, I don't know, 3 p.m., 4 p.m., you stop. It does stop a lot of the unnecessary snacking. It stops a lot of that desire to just keep going because you're kind of already in this routine, right? Where, okay, I only eat between this time and this time. I think sometimes just having some kind of rule set in place will help stop some of that behavior. But it is tricky because I think you have to try a lot of different things. And I think the main thing is you have to get out of that habit, okay? Because at the end of the day, it is a habit, right? I've done, several different videos on hinge eating before. And that is probably one of the biggest things I would say is you need like a pattern interrupt. Especially if you are doing this hinge eating at like the same time of day every day, which I think most people do, then you need to do something different in your routine. You need to make that physical action that shows like, yourself and the universe, as I always say, like, hey, you're ready to change. So, if you are doing this hinge eating, even on healthy stuff, like during the evening time, right after you get home from work, maybe find something else to do like right after you get home from work. Like maybe instead of coming home and just kind of relaxing, you just go straight from work to a workout class. And then from workout class, you just, go straight to the shower, then get in the bed. I think that just kind of stops it breaks up the pattern. So that's just something I would say. All right, let's see. Coleslaw made with vinegar and not sour cream or mayonnaise is a really good way to eat cabbage. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. Yeah, I don't eat mayonnaise anyway, but because it has eggs in it, I'm allergic to it. I told you guys about my weird allergies before, but that sounds really good. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna try that with like vinegar and like salt and pepper. That sounds really good, Ellie. Thank you. All right. Let me get back here to the next question. Okay. Hey, so can I have some help with a problem? I have something throughout the day. I cannot eat very well and only eat at dinner. But after dinner, I tend to start snacking. Is there a good way to stop that? So I would say like several things. Number one, going back to like the pattern interrupt, I think that's really important. Yeah, finding some kind of pattern interrupt, because it does sound like that is like normal for you to just, snack at night. But if you are snacking at night because you are actually hungry, then I would say, maybe make your eating schedule a little more normal. Like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know if you're purposely only eating at dinner or if that's just how you normally always eat. I know some people are just like that. But maybe try to have like regular lunch and dinner, and then maybe you won't be as hungry after dinner. Also make sure you're eating enough at dinner, right? Because if you're not eating enough at dinner, then you will get hungry. But also I understand it could just be that you're not even hungry. You're just snacking because it's habit. So yeah, number one, make sure you don't keep a lot of your snacky foods around, even if it's healthy snack foods. Something I've been doing lately is like cashews and raisins. I freaking love them. And yeah, they're healthy, but when you snack on too many of them, they add up quickly. So I've had to kind of control myself a little bit with that. So yeah, I think the pattern interrupt is really great. schedule something for right after dinner, right? I don't know, maybe it's just a phone call with your friend. Maybe it's just watching your certain show. Again, maybe doing something like the intermittent fasting. So it's like you just get into a schedule of only eating between that period of time. So you just get used to just not eating after dinner. You get used to not eating after 6 p.m. or whatever time it is. I would also say go to bed earlier. I've said this before too. I think sometimes again, the snacking comes when we're just kind of sitting around, especially at home watching TV and the kitchen's right behind you. Start your nighttime routine earlier. Go take a shower, brush your teeth, floss, right? Do all that stuff that you would normally do before you go to bed. And because you associate that with just going to bed right afterwards, right? I know for me it doesn't always work, if I'm honest, but after I brush my teeth, do all that routine, I'm less likely to want to go into the kitchen and eat something, if only because I'd be like, oh, I have to brush my teeth again, So I think that's a really good tip. And then just physically, go to bed earlier, put your pajamas on, go upstairs, get in your bed, read a book. You're just less likely to, head into the kitchen around that time and bring chips into the bed or something, right? So it just helps. And then you go to bed earlier, and that's always a good thing, right? You wake up earlier, you'll feel better, and you may be less inclined to snack. All right, let's see. When I text you on Instagram, I don't think you saw them. Have you been busy? Yeah, I'm not really great about getting back to the Instagram messages, honestly. So sorry if you guys have been sending me messages. I get a lot of them just from my friends in general, everyone too. So I'll get around to it. So I will reach back out to you, Melody. Just want to say thank you for what you do. I feel understood and supported. Oh, thank you. That always makes me feel so good when you guys tell me that. I know I almost generally don't feel like I deserve your kindness sometimes. Sometimes you guys are just so awesome, and I'm really glad to be of any kind of help. I hope I'm helping. I guess that's why we do it. All right. What's your sweet spot for calorie deficit? 300 calories, 1,500 more, or 500 more, not 1,500. So I'm in the 130s right now. And I mean, this has been an ongoing thing I've been talking to you guys about, kind of trying to build muscle, but also want to be leaner. And this is a tough area for me. This weight I'm at now, in the 130s, because it is very much like a plateau weight. 1,200 to 1,500 calories is my sweet spot. So on average, my maintenance is around 1,800 to 2,000, just according to the TDE. When I consistently am eating 1,200 to 1,500 calories, I do see weight loss. Obviously, when I'm eating 1,200 calories, I see it quicker. And this is something I've been kind of going back and forth with recently. It's almost eating that 1,200 calories, it is hard, but 1,500 calories is a little bit easier. But I feel you have to do it for a longer period of time, where I almost feel okay, kind of cutting it even a little bit more for a shorter period of time. Would that be easier? You know what I mean? To kind of get the final, whatever weight you have left. Because it's difficult. I get it. It's hard to be a calorie deficit. Obviously, the closer you get to your goal weight, the harder it gets, the more, you get into the vanity weight area. So I think, if you're curious about it, you're not sure what you should do, just keep kind of playing around with it. And just be careful with it. You never want to go so low that you get into that hinge mindset, right? So if that is something you struggle with, then definitely be careful with it. I think calorie cycling is also good. Okay, maybe one day you're eating 1,200, the next day you're gonna eat 1,500, and then maybe the next day you're a little bit hungrier, so you'll eat 1,600. I don't know. I'm just making up the numbers, but as long as you are still kind of within your deficit or even at maintenance, it might take you a little bit longer to lose the weight. But if you're trying to really stop the yo-yo dieting or really trying to not hinge, then that might be a better method. So yeah, I don't know. I try it all. All right, let's see. Can you share about the portion control? I managed to do fasting, but when I eat almost double the serving. I've tried using small plates, but end up serving myself three times that. Okay. So portion control. Yeah, I mean, I would say a food scale is really great for that, because that will give you the most accurate reading of how much you're eating. Also the portion control containers, 21-day fix. I love those. I really like those. I think those are really eye-opening, that really show you what portions are. And it is a really easy kind of plan to follow. Because you're just counting, you're counting containers, you're not counting calories or anything like that. And it does kind of force you to eat a more balanced diet. Like it forces you to eat more, like a lot of protein and a lot of veggies. So I would definitely recommend that if you are, curious about portions. Yeah, and if that's something that you keep, you keep almost doubling the serving, that will really help you not do that. You know what I mean? So I would recommend it. 21-day fix containers. I think I have a link, I think like in all my videos, but you can find them on Amazon. Really, really recommend it. All right, let's see. Let's get some other questions I had here. What does skinny have to do with healthy looks? Working out, exercising, healthy body, and habits has nothing in common with skinny. So I mean, I would agree and disagree, because I actually think that, look, the reality is just being overweight is not healthy, right? It doesn't mean, you might be healthy in other areas for sure. You can't always judge who is really healthy, who isn't, by their weight, but just having too much excess body fat is unhealthy for you, right? And so, yeah, by that standard, a skinny person, someone who is skinny, is healthier in that way, right? Doesn't mean that healthy, skinny people can't have other issues for sure. Like they could be an alcoholic or whatever, or have other issues, but just on that front, like they are healthier. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that's just kind of the truth. Like it's not in every circumstance, but in a lot of circumstances. Did you play any sports in high school? No, I didn't play any sports. I'm not a sports person whatsoever. I worked out in high school. I did do track. Only because my friends wanted me to do it with them. And I am not a sprinter whatsoever. They wanted to do sprinting. I'm not fast. Okay. I am more long distance running. I should have done track and field. I would have been much better at that. But I did sprinting with them. It was very hard. I hated it most days. I'm not going to lie. It was a good workout though. But I'm not built for sprinting. That's for sure. I'm a 23-year-old female, lost almost 10 kgs in 2023, want to lose 7 kgs more, not following any diet and exercise currently. Any tips? That's awesome. Number one, like really, congratulations on what you did do. I would say, it looks like you know what you're doing. So keep doing that. If you ever get to like a plateau, which I'm sure you will, because it just happens, like it's easier to lose weight when you first start versus like later. I mean, there are so many things you can try. If calorie counting is your thing, that's a very accurate way to just kind of know when you're in a deficit. The portion control containers, really good. Doing things like upping your protein, eating high volume, that can really help you, eat fewer calories and feel more satisfied, which will help you lose weight quicker. And also working out. I'm always gonna say working out. Make sure you're always changing up your workouts too. Like I think when I was losing the weight when I was younger, and even now, I mean, I always try to get better with my workouts. I think that it is good to have a goal beyond just like the scale weight, right? Like I knew I wanted to lose weight, but I also wanted to be a runner, and I knew I wanted to, be able to run, long distances. So I was always, every time I went to the gym, I was actively trying to get better, right? And as you get better, right, your body, your body adapts when you start exercising, right? But when you are continually trying to get better, then you continually get fitter, you burn more calories, and it's less likely you'll hit a plateau. All right. I bought from Target in the baby aisle a plastic food container that's for serving babies and used it as a portion control once. I finished that and done. Hey, whatever works, right? I think that's actually that's a good advice. Melody says, I did cheerleading and lacrosse in high school. Oh, awesome. I love that. You mentioned that you have thick legs. Did you have to worry about buying clothes even after you lost weight because of your legs? I do have thick legs. I just have thicker quads. It is what it is. I never had to worry about like clothes not fitting. I think especially back then, like I have a long torso too. In the low rise was in style, and low rise is not, I cannot do low rise. It's just so uncomfortable. I do remember, and I still even have it today, where it's like my waist is tiny. But my legs are thicker. So it's like, even with the measurements, when I look now, it's like, oh, like you're a size 2, but my legs are thicker. My legs are more like a size 4. And then my upper body is more a size 2. And so like my pants always have like a little, like too loose in the waist. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's just my body type. So that's kind of annoying. But I didn't have like any issue like finding like sizes in general to fit me. It just, that's just kind of a little bit tricky with having thicker legs. But is what it is, guys. Got to work with what we got. Your hair looks so healthy. I always lose huge amounts of hair in calorie deficit to the point where it's less than 1/3. Any tips? Oh my goodness. So yeah, I think I did respond to this on YouTube, but I don't know. I've never had that happen before, and I wonder if you are just in too much of a calorie deficit, or if it is just what you're eating. Like if you're in a calorie deficit and you're only eating, French fries, yeah. I mean, because you're not getting enough vitamins and minerals. So I would definitely suggest eating more balanced diet. And if you're too low calories and you need to up it, right? It's not worth losing your hair. Also taking vitamins and things like that, I think can really, really help. Let's see. Whitney, what do you think about Diet Coke? Does it hinder progress during fat loss? So I know they've always said this, like, oh, Diet Coke, it actually makes you crave more stuff. And I don't know, it's not good for you. I don't know. I've never had that experience. I used to drink Diet Coke a lot, and I actually just found that it helped me in many ways with cravings because it just kind of was like an alternative to just drinking water and had like some flavor to it. I never felt like it hindered my fat loss. I'm not saying that it doesn't. In general, it's not good for you. I would not suggest drinking it in general. I really try not to now because it's just all the other stuff that's in it. But I won't lie, every once in a while I will if I'm out and I just am craving a Diet Coke for whatever reason. So yeah, if it's something that it just kind of helps you with cravings and maybe you only drink it once in a while, then I don't know. I don't see as much of a problem. All right. I hate periods. It's so frustrating with weight loss. I'm trying to lose 10 more pounds. I'm getting really low for my height, 5'7", 116. But my period is so annoying during this time. Yeah, you are really low for your height, 10 more pounds. Yeah, just make sure you're staying healthy for sure. I don't know. I know we all have different body types and everything. So I always going to say, stay healthy. It's never worth it because I have been really skinny before, guys. I told you I was 105 pounds at one point and I was miserable. So I understand wanting to be thin and having an ideal. I'm right there with you. But yeah, it is not worth being super, super skinny. That being said, yeah, the period is hard. Trust me, I know. I think I did a video on like how to like stay away from cravings when your period hits. I think it's just having certain things in place, like making sure you don't have all those foods at your house when your period comes. But also maybe it depends maybe on how bad it is. I know for me, usually it's like 1 or 2 days is really bad. And then the rest is kind of like, I'm back to normal. Maybe on those 1 or 2 days, okay, maybe that could be your cheat day for the month or something. Or maybe, you don't go as hard that day because it is what it is. We have to kind of work with all the issues we have. Periods, unfortunately, we can't help that. I have thick legs too, and I'm also 5'8", but they're longer than yours. Also, a lot of women with our body type have worn rise jeans, and they look pretty dang good. Oh, for sure, they look good. For me personally, I find it so uncomfortable. I hate that feeling of always pulling my pants up. Shop with Crystal says, hi. Periods ruin everything for weight loss. 1 minute I'm doing good, then bam, my sugar cravings. Oh, it is really frustrating. I get it. It's really frustrating. Yeah, I think like when you are really in it and really like in the mindset, it's a little bit easier, but it is one of those things you kind of have to work around. And maybe once you get off your period, work out a little bit harder, get right back on schedule. Let's see. We're losing weight when short is hard. 5'2". Yeah, I guess yeah. I mean, it's definitely taller people, and it's like taller than me for sure. They have it easier because it's like, yeah. I mean, naturally, the metabolism is a little bit higher because they burn more calories because they're just bigger in general. And also, like the fat distribution is just like more even on them. It's not fair. All right, let's see. Okay, this one was interesting. Hello, I want to discuss your recent thoughts on Liv Schmidt's content now compared to her content before, because it feels like she might go on a downfall because she met that looks maxing influencer called Clavicule Her. And I feel like I want to stay away from Liv. I'm not here to defend body positive influencers, but Liv Schmidt seems like she pulled a problematic move, in my opinion, during her recent New York Fashion Week. I do understand being thin is a preference, as I have also lost weight myself. So I don't want to body shame Liv in that case either. But also I can't stand Liv Schmidt's way of talking, like dehumanizing fat people and treating them like animals and hurting fat people more than just constructive criticism, like acknowledging the critical issues of being obese or stuff like that. I feel like I'm unsure about the recent pattern for now. I could be mistaken though. Okay, that was the comment. Yeah, I don't know. I thought this one was interesting. Thought we talk about on here. I don't know because I don't know if I actually follow Liv. I see her stuff, and only because I just don't follow a lot of people. Like I don't even follow a lot of my friends on Instagram right now for no other reason other than I'm just usually more busy making content than looking at it. I've not seen a lot of the content where people say that she's like being mean to fat people or whatever. I don't know. I guess it's something to ask you guys. I've heard kind of about the clavicular guy. I don't know. I don't understand that. I think I'm too old for that. I think that, the content I have seen from Liv and why I originally liked her, I just like that she was so honest about it. And I just felt like the backlash that she got for that was so harsh. I'd also say, again, I not knowing exactly what she said, I sometimes people are so mean online, right? That God forbid she defend herself or she says something that's, in response to what someone else says, then she looks like the bad guy, right? Like I've experienced that. So I don't know. Obviously, if she is a bad person, I don't want to defend her. I just don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that we have different approach anyway. I think like the mean girl thing is kind of her thing. And she's not the only one. There's so many like skinny influencers now that are out there. I don't see myself in like, and when I say mean girl, I don't actually mean like a mean person, but like the actual like mean girl aesthetic. I don't see myself as that way. I think, I prefer more like the tough love thing, but yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Liv is such a young woman. Give her grace, truthfully. She's very young. That's something else we have to remember too. She's like, what is she, like 24 or something like that? I remember being 24. So basically you never had to worry about buying jeans and skirts after losing weight, despite your legs. No, I mean, I don't think so. I think I can still fit normal sizes. It's just there are definitely women's clothing fits weird anyway, so there are definitely some things that just don't fit right. You just have to kind of learn how to work with your body. I feel like Liv gives advice that she doesn't follow herself. Does she? I don't know. I mean, I think so. Some of her stuff is like, and I'm not saying it's wrong. I think it works for her. Like, she's cute. She'd be like, oh, we just have 3 chic bites of this and then we're done, right? That's what skinny girls do. So I think it works for her. And the portion control, I know for a lot of people it does. Again, you guys know my stance. Like that weight worked for me for like a day. Okay, maybe a couple of times. Like, oh, I took 3 bites and I'm chic and fabulous. It doesn't work for me long term because I get hungry. I like to eat. So I am more someone like, okay, volume eat and work out, right? And, watch what I'm eating because yeah, maybe she can have 3 bites of a cupcake and she's fine. I don't. Like for me, it just like, I want to keep going. So I think, that just doesn't, I don't know. That just doesn't really work for me. But I did say that she was in New York Fashion Week. I think Melody actually sent me something that she's in New York Fashion Week. So yeah, that's good for her on that front. Let's see. Have you ever experienced yo-yo dieting? I did not experience that when I was originally losing the weight when I was younger. Definitely not, because like everything was just more gradual. Even after I lost the weight, I mean, so if yo-yo dieting is if from what I understand, yo-yo dieting being is like, okay, you do kind of one diet or eat well for a while, and then you gain, you lose the weight, but then you go off and you gain the weight back, and then you do the diet again, and you lose it. So no, I never really had that experience. I was always pretty good at maintaining. I did, like, I think definitely like after I lost what foods like really triggered me. And even though I was still maintaining the weight, I realized like when I eat these certain foods, it's so much harder for me to maintain this weight because, I feel like I'm hungry all the time because I can only have one bite or one piece of pizza. I'm still hungry. And, back then I was better at like being disciplined. So I wouldn't go over that. But yeah, I found it was kind of hard for me to figure out like, okay, eventually I figured out like I just have to cut out most processed foods. And then obviously I did gain weight like in my 20s, but I kind of told you guys about that already. It's just mostly because I was like partying and just not really living the healthiest lifestyle. Even then though, I mean, besides drinking, I was still pretty good about trying to, eat relatively healthy. I would say if I, experienced anything like close to yo-yo dieting, probably like more now, like in my like 30s, I just have felt that like, I don't know, old habits die hard, right? And so it's like, okay, I'm trying to like get leaner, lose some weight, and yeah, I'll be good for like a while, and then fiance makes bread or something, and it's like, well, damn it, right? Like, unfortunately, when you are at like the vanity weight, one bad day does kind of undo a whole week of progress. So it is tough. It is tough, especially at this stage in weight loss. I think Liv has created a provocative brand, and it works for people who like her content. Take what you want, leave what you don't want, and move along. She's basically just teaching Nutrisystem, just chic. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's how I feel about like almost everyone online. If you don't like it, then just okay, don't watch them, right? If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. So for some people, Liv's advice might work better for them. For other people, my advice might work better for them, right? Just take what you want. I've had people do that with other things too, like not just Liv, other creators. They'll be like, oh, well, so and so says do this instead. Like, this is stupid advice. Like, okay, well then go follow them. Like, listen to their advice. You know what I mean? Okay, let's see. How can I get my period back? Well, I think that, number one, you should be talking to a doctor for sure if that's an issue. But usually I would say it's because you're not eating enough calories. So I would definitely make sure you're eating enough calories. And a TDE calculator is a good place to start to just kind of get an idea of what you should be eating. And just, if you are at the point now where you're trying to do maintenance, that can help you kind of figure out what your maintenance is and what a maintenance diet will look like for you and how many calories. So yeah, definitely make sure you're taking care of yourself. It's not worth it to not be healthy. Let's see. I watched Michelle McDaniel's video about ballet, and I have to agree with her. While it's impossible and unhealthy to do ballet if you're skinny to the point where your bones are showing, it's not everyone who can be a ballet dancer given their body type. Oh, I think I know what video you're talking about. When she was talking about, I think it was the like overweight or obese girl who was doing ballet. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know a lot about like dance, but I can see how just anything in general, physical, like to be the best of the best, you have to be in really good shape, right? I can see that for most sports because I'm not saying you can't be a good dancer if you're overweight, but I think that there's just a physical aspect to it where it's like, okay, a heavier person cannot jump as high, right? Because it's just gravity, right? Or they can't be as flexible because you literally have, mass in front of you that's preventing you from being as flexible as someone who's thinner. So, yeah. I think that unfortunately that's just true. How do I lose weight without losing my period? I heard a lot of horror stories about girls and women who lost their periods after losing weight. I mean, it might be because they lost too much or went too low in a calorie deficit. I think also sometimes it can happen when you're just kind of in like your body goes through something like really drastic, and you might lose it for a little bit and then it comes back. I think once you get back into kind of like an equilibrium, then it won't be an issue. Like once you get back into your maintenance and you're not doing like anything too drastic. I mean, my period was kind of irregular back in my teens too, but it's it's normal now. It's been normal, my whole adulthood. I think, yeah. So if you're concerned about that, I mean, I would say just don't do anything too crazy or too, strict. I think that you will be, I don't know. I don't know that. Is it really, I mean, I guess maybe it's more, I don't know, maybe it's more common than I thought it was, but I think maybe it's most common in people who lose drastic amounts of weight or who just get way too skinny. So as long as your goal is to get within a healthy range, then hopefully it won't be a problem. But I would, definitely talk to your doctor if that's something that, you're concerned with. Okay. What do you think of Liv Schmidt? Not sure if the message already sent. So I think I already gave like my opinion, I think a little bit earlier, but yeah, I don't have a problem with her. I mean, I again, like I said, originally I really think the backlash against her was so unwarranted, and I did feel bad for. She literally was just like, I'm just sharing what I'm eating, and I like that she was so honest about it. I don't know. I mean, I have heard, you hear everything about everyone, so who really knows what's true? But yeah, if she is actually a mean person, that's not cool. But I don't know if she is actually a mean person or if that's like just her vibe, right? It's like the mean girl vibe. So, and as far as like her advice and stuff, she's not wrong. I mean, she's basically just telling people like just eat less, and that's true. If you want to lose weight, like eat less. It's just, I think for someone like me, that doesn't work, right? Someone who, used to be obese. And I think for a lot of us who've experienced a lot of food noise, I think maybe just her methods won't work as well. That's just, how I feel. So yeah. I read somewhere that losing weight can just disrupt your cycle. Yeah, I think it can disrupt it. I think sometimes it, goes back to normal, but I think as long as you're not like in an unhealthy weight, then it shouldn't be an issue. All right. So do I have any more questions? Did we already go through them? Yeah, I guess we did. I'm sure I have more questions somewhere in my comments. I do get a lot of comments. I do try to respond to a lot of them, but it's like good problems, right? When you get too many comments sometimes. Let's see. Let's see. I'm really impressed with how she has built something that was free on the internet chat rooms. I had Kik chats and Discord for things like this, and she's managed to sell it. You gotta love it. Yeah, she's doing really well for herself. I think, yeah, I mean, she's built a brand off of it. So I think that's awesome. Yeah, it is crazy. I have seen a lot of the hate that she gets though. There are, unfortunately, we talk about this all the time. There really, unfortunately, there are just so many people who they're just not happy with themselves, and so they just want to place blame on other people for their own issues. But yeah, someone mentioned something that she is so young. She is so young, and I forget that too because she looks older and she seems like so much more like mature and all that. My God, I remember being 24, totally different place. So yeah, she's brave or she's supposed to be very strong for being able to put herself out there like that. But she seems like a confident person, so I think she knows what she's doing. Amazing how she bounced back after getting pregnant. Who, Liv Schmidt? I don't think she's ever been pregnant. I don't know, right? Not that I know of, unless we're talking about someone else. But you're so fun. Thanks for your videos. Thank you. Thank you guys for watching. I do have a lot of fun making these things. I like it a lot more than I ever thought I would, honestly, because when I first started this, I was like, it's going to be so weird just like talking in front of a camera. And it was weird. But surprisingly, like I'm actually a pretty reserved person in person. If you meet me, when I get on camera, I just can't shut up. It's just, I don't know what it is. Oh, did you guys watch the America's Next Top Model documentary? I know some of you guys are into that stuff, and I watched it the other day. I think I might do a review on it. I don't know. I mean, it was kind of interesting to see all the behind the scenes stuff and just with my own experience with it. And it is one of those things that definitely makes me think, oh my God, I'm so glad I didn't do it. But it was interesting seeing Tyra. And I like Tyra. I always liked her, but she does, in this documentary, if you guys watched it, like she does definitely seem like she's kind of like acting all the time. Like she does not want to take accountability for anything. And watching like some of the clips like from the show, you realize like, oh my God, it was actually really bad. It was bad. Yeah, there was the drama. Hello from Brooklyn, New York. Oh, hello. Oh, I miss New York. I've been thinking about New York recently. I haven't been in a long time. I used to be all over Manhattan back in the day. I have a friend who invites me over to eat every time, and I just can't follow my diet or count calories in her house. She doesn't like it. She talks about disorders, and I'm just trying to lose weight. Oof, with those people, you can't let them get to you. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't want to be the person to say like, hey, just cut off everyone in your life if they don't, agree with you. But sometimes you do, if they are actively trying to sabotage you or are just not understanding of your goals, like try talking to them and be like, look, I'm very serious about this. Okay. Like, if they still have an issue with it, then there's something kind of weird about that, I think. And maybe just don't go to her house that often or bring your own food or tell her ahead of time, hey, I'm doing this. So, I'm going to bring my own food or I'm going to count calories. And if she's got an issue with it, like, I don't know, that's her problem. Oh my God, I was thinking she was a completely different YouTuber. Okay. Yeah. Because as far as I know, I'm like, no, not Liv. I don't think she's had a baby. You can tell she's self-centered, like low key. I wouldn't be her friend. Talking about Tyra. Yeah. And that's a shame. So there was something interesting. Someone did a TikTok. I don't know if I saved it, but they were, she was like a former model and she was giving, it was actually more about Heidi, what's her name? Heidi Klum. It was like a horror story about Heidi Klum. She said Heidi Klum was just like awful to work with. She was not a nice person. But she was saying that she met Tyra on that same commercial. And she said actually Tyra was really nice and she was really fun. But she's like, well, you could tell that Tyra was all about Tyra. And watching that documentary, like, okay, like you could see that. Like she might not be like a purposely bad person, but she's all about herself. So I can see that. I always struggle with staying consistent with healthy habits, such as being physically active. Yeah, that's hard at first. I think, some of it is just going to come down to just being very disciplined about it and getting into that habit. I mean, I would say, do you have other areas in your life that you're more consistent with stuff? I know sometimes some people have like lifestyles that are just kind of like everything's kind of out of whack. So sometimes those things can be hard. But I think maybe making a point to, like, if it's working out, if it's being active, like, okay, you do like the same workout or, the same thing every single day at the same time, just so it becomes like your non-negotiable, right? It just becomes this every day you got to do this in the morning or in the evening, whatever time that you can do it, then it just becomes more part of your routine. It has to be something that just becomes kind of like second nature to you. I think, walking is so great. I think that is just one of the best things you can do. And I think it's just, okay, you have some time, you're bored, whatever, get up and walk, pace back and forth in your house. If you have to go for a walk in the neighborhood, just making some kind of goal just to do something even as simple as that, just walking. I think that can be really helpful. So let's see. Yeah. Also, habit stack. If you like listening to a podcast, walk while you do it. Yeah, habit stacking is really great. I would definitely recommend that. What podcast do you guys listen to? I like a lot of the true crime stuff, or like a lot of. There's another guy called Y-Files on YouTube. I like a lot of his stuff too. He does like supernatural stuff. It's kind of fun. And I also like weight loss content stuff too, because it's always kind of fun to listen to. I think when losing weight, you have to accept your downfalls. Like, for example, I can buy cake because I can't buy cake because I will just eat the whole thing. Yeah. Oh yeah. You have to be really honest with yourself about your bad habits. Like, there was a quote I read somewhere. Oh, I should try to find it. But it was basically, okay, if you want to solve like 99% of your problems, start with your worst habit. Like what did it say? Like turn the faucet off at the start or something like that, right? Like, yeah. And that's just so true. Like, I think I had to be very honest with myself when I lost like the recent, like 35 pounds. One of my worst habits was, drinking wine. And that made me want to overeat all the time. Right. So I think like that was like something I had to be really honest with myself about. And then, yeah, lo and behold, stop drinking. And it's like the weight loss, just happened. Feel 1,000 times better. So yeah, whatever is your worst habit, start there. That is the best place to start. So, yeah, I thought I had more questions. So many tabs open right now. But yeah, anyway, I mean, I think that this was so cool to do. Like I said, it wasn't planned. Next time I'll try to plan it if you guys want to jump on here. But I just felt like doing it. So yeah. Maybe we will end it there. It's already been 45 minutes. It doesn't seem possible. So anyway, thank you guys so much for the ones who have watched and who we've been chatting with. Like, this is so cool. It feels actually like being able to talk with you guys. So that's really cool. Ooh, I pace back and forth when I get on the phone, so I just call people when I have to be home. I've been doing that a lot lately too, pacing back and forth on the phone. It really helps keep your steps in. When I was doing that step count challenge, which I may do another one of those again because that was kind of fun. I would do all that. I would walk in place, I would pace back and forth. And it's like amazing how much exercise you can get like at home, how many steps you can get at home just by doing stuff like that. So yeah. I like your setting and WH logo looks so nice. Thanks for being here today. Oh, thank you. Yeah, my fiance helped me with all the lighting stuff. He's really good about that. Well, thank you for being here also, and thanks for listening. And yeah, this was so much fun. So if you guys any other more questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and then I'll try to extract them, and then maybe we'll do another one like this. So, all right, hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys next time. And yes, I agree. Monthly step challenge. I think that's really cool. Okay. All right. Gotta go now.